Two conflicting court rulings have thrown access to one of the U.S.'s most commonly used abortion drugs into uncertainty. A judge in Texas has moved to suspend the long-standing approval of abortion drug Mifepristone. But just minutes later, a judge in Washington issued an injunction ordering authorities not to restrict access to it. The Justice Department says it is appealing the Texas ruling and reviewing the other. Mifepristone is one of two pills used for medication abortions, the most common method of terminating a pregnancy in the U.S.
It's being called another setback to abortion rights in parts of the United States. On Friday, a judge in Texas moved to suspend the long-standing approval of abortion drug Mifepristone. The decision could limit access to the drug for millions of women. Mifepristone is one of two pills used for medication abortions, the most common method of terminating a pregnancy in the U.S. The ruling in Texas prompted criticism by U.S. Vice-President Kamala Harris. She described the abortion pill ruling as a dangerous precedent.
There is no question that the President and I are going to stand with the women of America and do everything we can to ensure that women have the ability to make decisions about their health care, their reproductive health care, in a manner that is what they need, and they decide that, not their government.
The decision by a district court in Texas has also drawn criticism from pro-choice groups and medical associations. The U.S. Justice Department says it will appeal the Texas ruling. Attorney General Merrick B. Garland said in a statement, "Today's decision overturns the FDA's expert judgment rendered over 2 decades ago that Mifepristone is safe and effective. The department will continue to defend the FDA's decision." In a separate case shortly after the Texas ruling, a federal judge in Washington state ordered the FDA authorities not to restrict access to the drug in 17 liberal states. For now, Mifepristone remains available, at least in some states of the country. But the legal fight for abortion medication will likely end up in U.S. Supreme Court.
Here to tell us more about these rulings is DW reporter Alex Footman. So, Alex, there have been two rulings, and what exactly do both of them mean for access to this drug?
Well, Aaron, the Texas ruling says that after a week, that's the grace period that the judge gave the federal government to appeal his decision. But after this week, the FDA would basically have to roll back its approval of this drug initially, which was given over 20 years ago, and pull it from shelves. But in Washington state, a judge said that the FDA would have to protect people's access to this drug for at least over a dozen states that were all signed on together in the lawsuit there. So in the very short term, people can still access it, but after a week, we'll have to see.
Well, of course, abortion is one of the most contentious issues in the United States, and we've already heard VP Kamala Harris weigh in on the matter. What have the reactions been so far across the political spectrum?
All right. Well, this is a somewhat predictable fault line because this is one of the largest ongoing debates for decades in the United States, abortion rights. So there are established anti-abortion groups that are celebrating this latest victory, the same groups that were behind the overturning of the landmark abortion rights Supreme Court case Roe v. Wade last year. And on the other hand, you have Democratic politicians like Vice-President Harris and abortion rights groups who are asking how it's possible that one politically appointed federal judge could overturn an approval of a drug. So this is very divisive, as expected.
Okay, and as you're saying, it seems like both sides are very much at loggerheads right here. What are the next steps in this debate and in this process regarding this drug?
Right, so the Justice Department will appeal. That's what Attorney General Merrick Garland has already said. The Justice Department will appeal the Texas decision and review the Washington decision. And after that, it's very likely that this is headed on a fast track to the Supreme Court.
All right, that was DW reporter Alex Footman. Thank you for bringing us up to date.
Thank you.